You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome.
Good morning. My name is Mary Klein, and I'm a licensed practitioner at CSL St. George. And I'll be your host. I'll be doing the sitting meditation this morning. So I invite you this moment to simply take this moment to move within. And if it feels right for you to close your eyes. This meditation comes from the Buddhist practice of mudito, which means appreciative joy. It can be understood as simply showing up for joy and happiness with a caring presence. Joy and happiness is a choice we make each day, unconsciously or consciously. We have that choice every morning to choose how we will move forward. I personally have a sign by my bed that says cheerful to remind me that I have a choice to be cheerful, to be joyful, and to have happiness. As we move along in this meditation, bring your kind awareness to the visceral feelings that are awakened during this meditation. Feelings, not just thought, but feeling. How do you feel? You feel more fulfilled by joy, recognizing happiness more easily in your life, and train the mind to treat joy and happiness as an important experience. So now sit comfortably in your chair and invite relaxation. As you breathe in, appreciate the life offered from each inhalation. As you breathe out with your exhalation, let go of any tension in the mind or body. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathe in, appreciate the life offered from each of the breaths in, and with each exhalation, let out any tension or mind or body. One more time, in and out. Now I ask you to bring to mind a time in which you experienced joy and happiness, either recently or in the past. It may be something small, like seeing a friend, watching a sunset, or the simple joy of lying down at night in your warm and comfy bed. Or it can be something very large, birth of a child, a wedding, a long-awaited trip or vacation. Find something that brings you joy in your mind's eye. And when you have something, allow yourself to feel that experience of contentment and joy. Just breathe in and feel that sense of joy and happiness that comes over you. Because the creative process responds to feelings and feeling more quickly than any other mental attitude. Just feel that down. With the intent of cultivating gratitude, offer yourself a few phrases of appreciative joy. So I'm going to read a couple of phrases. And I want you to really work at feeling it. May my joy and happiness continue. May my joy and happiness grow. Feel that. May it grow. May I be present for my joy and happiness. Sometimes we get so busy doing, we don't stop to enjoy what we are doing and enjoy it as opposed to doing. May I appreciate the joy and the happiness in my life. You know your own experience, so be true to yourself. So now I'm going to read those again, focusing your attention on the words and feeling what you're saying and thinking. May my joy and happiness continue. May my joy and happiness grow. May I be present for my joy and happiness. May I appreciate the joy and the happiness in my life. Feel that. When I first met my husband, he nicknamed me Lum, Lighten Up Mary, because I was always doing and not enjoying. And that's been my journey for a long time. Now I would like you to bring to mind someone else in your life who has experienced with some joy and happiness recently. So think of someone, maybe a child or a sibling or a friend or a parent. And as you picture that person in your mind, smile as you observe their joy. Nice big smile. As you did for yourself, offer phrases of gratitude. Rejoice in as much as possible in their joy and their happiness. Offer these phrases. May your joy and happiness continue. May your joy and happiness grow. May I be present for your joy and your happiness. I'm so happy for you. Perhaps choose another friend or family or someone. Perhaps someone we don't know that's in Ukraine. And let me read the phrases again. May your joy and happiness continue. May your joy and happiness grow. May I be present for your joy and happiness. So I want you to just take a moment and bask in that feeling of joy, that feeling of happiness for both yourself in your mind's eye and the other persons you chose. Just breathe slowly and feel deeply that joy and happiness. Recall. If your mind wandered, bring it back to that feeling of joy. So now I would like to read some quotes from the Science of Mind textbook, the chapter on mental equivalence written by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. Everything necessary to the full and complete expression of the most boundless experience of joy is mine now. Know this, see it, and feel it, and be it. Also, he wrote, I am joy, peace, and happiness. I am the spirit of joy within me. I am the spirit of peace within me, of poise and of power. I am the spirit of happiness within me. I radiate life. I am life. There is one life, and that life is my life now. So now go about your day with joy and happiness and love towards yourself and your world community. So thank you for being present today, and namaste. Namaste. So it is.
You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, wholly welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, wholly welcome, wholly
Good, beautiful morning, St. George. It's so glorious to be with you today. Um, it's a it's a great day today. It's bright, but it's overcast. I don't know what it's like for you, and it's supposed to be almost 70 today here in St. George. So um, dress and layer so that you can adapt to this afternoon. We have a lovely day for you today. We're really delighted to have you here. We want you to know that we are an open, loving, and inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. We would love to share with you our mission, our purpose, vision, and values. Our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence and to awaken our community to its divine nature and the greatest expression of who we are. Our vision is a world that works for everyone. Our values are love, freedom, participation, enthusiasm, acceptance, contribution, cooperation, and humor. And humor certainly applies to today. I love our theme today that a spoonful of humor is the best medicine. So I just love that. That's so great. Of course, I want to say sugar instead of instead of humor. So here's our service team for today. Our tech today is Star Starrett, who's one of our practitioners. She's having a little technical difficulty, so she and I are kind of sharing the teching part. So if it seems a challenge, it might be from time to time. Mary Klein, one of our practitioners, did the meditation, beautiful meditation, Mary, and will do our invocation for us in a few minutes. I'm Marina Anderson, and I'm your host for today. Our music is provided by Mr. Alan Stanley today. He's chosen a couple of really special songs. I know that you'll enjoy it. The reading of our covenant will be done today by Bill Smith, who's one of our new practitioners. You will enjoy that, I'm sure. And we are delighted to once again have Jeffon Seeley back with us, who is delivering the message today. He's always a joy, so you are in for a treat for sure. Okay, we are going to start with the song Love is My Decision with Mr. Alan Stanley. Welcome, Alan.
Welcome. Good morning, Marina. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else will tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. I'd like to bring Mary back to offer our invitation.
Hi, good morning again. I'd like you to sit quietly if you can, and if you're okay, close your eyes and go within. And I acknowledge there is one constant presence as I turn within and tap into that indwelling presence. It's one force encompassing everything that is in existence, one energy from which all things are made. I recognize this as truth. There's nothing that exists outside this one presence. As I breathe in, the grace of God permeates all of my cells, feeds me to the core of my being. There's no place that God is not. It moves itself through me and through all creation. Having recognized this magnificent and awesome power of the one presence that is absolutely everywhere within the universe, I realized that this same intelligence that created everything is right here, therefore it's right here within me. I am one with this presence. I am a divine being made of God energy, having this human experience, this joyful human experience. As I know this is true for me, I know it is true for everyone here and everyone that's watching this broadcast. There's nothing outside of this one. So I consciously align myself with this indwelling presence each moment as I continually cherish that which is within me. There's no better means of developing my inner life than by continually beginning again each day, each minute, each moment. This is what staying present moment means to me. Focusing on truth, love, oneness, healing, joy, and happiness. So as we embark on today's journey on this beautiful, amazing, brisk, sunny, cloudy morning, we open our loving hearts and listen with new awareness. So I bless and thank all those who are participating today, all those who give of their time to create this broadcast each week, to all our teachers and students who demonstrate a strong quest for knowledge of our principles and philosophy. And so it is. Namaste.
So it is. Thank you, Mary. We're going to put the lyrics up to this. Please sing along with us. You know I can hear you because it's been said that I hear voices. So. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And when I decide to change my life, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And when I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now. I'd like to invite Bill in to do our sacred covenant today. Hello, Bill.
Good morning, Alan. Did you hear me singing?
I did.
Could you hear me? I hope I wasn't too far off key. I didn't throw you off.
Oh, you were perfect. You and all those other voices.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bill Smith. I am a licensed practitioner here at Center for Spiritual Living, St. George, and I'll be reading the Sacred Covenant this morning. I invite you to read along with me, or if it feels better for you, just close your eyes and let the words soak into you and absorb into you. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life, I know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which include the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express God, I therefore know that my new minister reveals wholeness. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which we believe, for it is written by our founder, Ernest Holmes. Let us learn to draw the divine substance down into our own lives, and as freely as it has been given to us, let us give it to others. Thus alone shall we be made whole. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as growing the center in joy and prosperity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing the truth about myself, for I live the presence and law of God. I demonstrate wisdom through a mature understanding of the wholeness of life. I am accountable and willing to take full responsibility for my actions. I participate in and support the nurturance and guidance of the community. I act from wholeness and congruence in thought, word, and action. I walk the talk. I embrace, and here's where you express your personal truth. I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, knowing that they are revealed in a way that expresses God and serves the highest and greatest good for all who are touched by their presence. I am so grateful, and so it is. Amen.
So it is. Thank you, Bill. So I thought these are good times to do some love songs. So I'm going to do another love song. You recognize it, and please sing along. I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge, bind their heart and mind. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart would understand. Love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? And when we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything, believing in the power. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Wow, thank you, Alan.
Thank you all.
That last one's one of my favorite Judd songs.
Oh, good.
So I was definitely singing it over here with you, singing a little harmony.
Oh, that's great.
Have a great day, Alan.
You too.
All right, everybody. So, as I said before, in accordance with our yearly and monthly theme, Living Everyday Wonder, this week it's play. And today's specific theme is A Spoonful of Humor is the Medicine. Can't you just hear Mary singing in the background? Anyway, it's going to be a fun talk today. I'd like to welcome Jeffon Seeley, one of my personal favorites. I love it when you come to visit us, Jeffon.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, as always.
Yes, of course. Well, you take it away, kind sir.
Okay, will do. Good morning, good day, everybody. I hope that wherever you happen to be, whatever you happen to be going through, you can find a reason to smile. I think that in the conversations that we've had up to this point, in terms of the meditation, in terms of the prayer, in terms of the singing, in terms of the covenant that Bill read, there is a lot just to simply be grateful for. So today, as I often do when I have the privilege to be here with all of you, it's always my hope to share something that can be practically applied in a tangible way when we move throughout our day, when we move from moment to moment to moment. There are enough books, there are enough short things that we could watch on the television screen or on our computer that will just compile these intellectual bricks of knowledge. So as I often say, it's my hope that we'll find something very practical that we can embrace, apply it to our life, and in doing so, as it matches the covenant, begin this transformative process by first and foremost recognizing the transformation that must occur within here. So with this particular theme that we will be discussing, living everyday wonder, I think is the most important aspect. Truly living in this present moment and seeing the wonder, the miraculous of this life that we are living just simply by being. But the subtitle then is that spoonful of humor. I don't know how big a spoonful is. I think back to my grandmother when I was sick, when I was younger, and she would, put a little bit of medicine in the spoon. And when I was young, I thought that spoon was very, very big. And I didn't always like taking that medicine. But nevertheless, a spoonful of humor is the medicine itself. So with that being said, I would just simply like to take a moment of gratitude for all of us being here. Whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this at a later time, those of you who are watching it now, you're live, but you know what I mean. If you watch this back at a later time, this is March 13th of 2022. It's really fascinating when you say the date, it's like, it's literally the year 2022. That means we've had the privilege to experience this year for 72 days. So this is the 72nd day of year 2022. I've asked this community this in the past. As Alan mentioned, I can hear you when you reply to this, or maybe that's some of the other conversations that go on in my head. But I've asked all of you at least one time or another, how many breaths do we as human beings have the privilege to take each and every day? Just bring that number into the forefront of your mind. Some of you may be saying 10,000. Some of you may be saying 50,000. Some of you may be saying 20,000, whatever that number is. Well, scientific studies have shown by the time the average human roughly takes 25,000 breaths each and every day. And this is why I'm saying this is a moment of gratitude. Because if this is day number 72 of 2022, that means you and I have had the privilege to take roughly 1.8 million breaths this year. And one thing that might bring a smile to your face is by asking yourself the question of all these sacred breaths that I've had the privilege to bring through this sacred being, my body temple. How many of them have I been fully aware of? How many of them have I simply been unaware of? So that's one aspect that I think all of us can embrace. And when we take that time to pause, be aware of that breath that we are breathing, as Mary mentioned in the meditation and in her affirmative prayer, it can simply bring a smile to our face by realizing that we are truly here in this moment of now, living, breathing, and having this experience. The second naturally occurring phenomenon that can pause, can allow us to be in this present moment is recognizing the sacred beating of our heart. And it has been shown that our heart beats on average 100,000 times per day. Simple mathematics, timesing that by 72, means that we've had the privilege to fill 7.2 million heartbeats this year. Please do not move so quickly throughout life that you forget to pause and recognize the small things. That opens the doorway for joy. That opens the doorway for peace. That opens the doorway for happiness. Simply being aware that you are brought to life by the infinite, that you are moving in this moment of now, interacting with all the people who you have the privilege to see throughout your specific journey. So let these things simply bring a smile to your face. Now, as we pivot towards the topic itself, a spoonful of humor. As I was putting this conversation here together, I was thinking about all the things that are occurring on this planet that we share with one another that don't necessarily bring a smile to my face. And I think maybe there are some things in your experience or that you've seen that has taken place or taking place in this moment that seems as if there are a lot of our fellow human beings who are going through extremely difficult times. And we cannot act as if that is not happening. We have to be aware and mindful of those real situations that people are experiencing in this physical realm. We can do that while simultaneously recognizing the inherent worth, the inherent greatness that is dwelling within all things as it relates back to the foundational elements of our teaching, of these principles that we share. We can still recognize the truth while also recognizing the harsh realities that some of our fellow human beings are going through in this moment. So as we think about this spoonful of humor, I'm not going to necessarily go from a macro level, looking at all the things that are happening on this earth, because as I mentioned, through a very simple reflection, we can see that there are some extreme difficulties that individuals are experiencing. So instead, I would like us to look a little bit more micro at ourselves. Now, something that brought a very big smile to my face was an experience that I just had actually this past weekend. So, as some of you know, I have the privilege to travel around the nation, to speak at organizations, to work with all different types of businesses around concepts such as diversity or inclusion or bridging generational differences, ultimately just creating a culture where people feel as if they are valued, wanted, and respected. So I am based here in Atlanta. It's been beautiful weather here. I want to say about 70 degrees. And this past week, I had the opportunity to travel back to a place where I used to live, and that is North Dakota. Yes, I did say North Dakota. And yes, there are people in North Dakota, if you didn't like think of that. But nevertheless, I traveled up to Fargo, North Dakota. And I was talking with my wife as I was getting ready to leave because, as I mentioned, it was 70 degrees here in Atlanta. And I was looking at the weather and I was like, oh, I think it's going to be pretty much 0 degrees with the wind chill where it feels as if it's maybe -10 up to -17. And I was telling my wife, I just have to walk from the airport to the rent-a-car, from the rent-a-car to the hotel, and then right up into the room. So I don't necessarily need to pack this extremely big jacket with me. I mean, I think I could bear the elements with a light North Face and and a sweater underneath my jacket. And she looked at me in very confused, reminding me that -17, I mean, it literally will freeze your nose hairs when you step outside. So I did pack my big coat. When I landed in Fargo, I got the rent-a-car, and it's just a short walk to the rental car. And I remember putting on my big coat and smiling as I pulled it out of my bag, remembering those words of my wife. Walked outside, and the moment I stepped outside, that wind hit me. My fingers started to feel as if they were freezing very quickly. I made it to the car shaking and started the truck, and then smiled again. There was heat. The car was warm. And this whole process continued of just simply thinking of all the things that you can smile about, especially if you're prepared for some of those difficult situations. Now, that was the experience of getting there. Getting back home, being that I was only there for about 24 hours, my flight was very quick the next day. I get to the airport, as many of us have at one point or another in our lives. Very excited to get through security, to get on the plane, and to get on my way, being I had a layover. Sitting in the airport, there is nothing more disturbing or disheartening than looking up at the monitor and seeing that the plane has been delayed. Now, there's not a lot of planes that come in and out of Fargo, North Dakota. So I sit there. There's not much I can do. I can't get mad at anybody except for getting mad at myself. Alan, I think that those are the voices in our head. You know, we get upset with ourselves, and we're the ones who's just running around in circles. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see another alert flash up on the screen. The plane has been delayed yet again. 5 hours later, I had the privilege to walk down the jet bridge and get on my airplane to go to Minneapolis. And just as luck would have it, in Minneapolis, there are no more planes to go to Atlanta, which means I had to go find one of those, people who work at Delta, and then they put me up in a hotel. Very excited just to get to a hotel, to get some food, smiling under my breath the whole time, though a slight little bit of anger. Getting to the hotel just to find out that my plane the next morning takes off at 5:20 in the morning. I don't know if you've had to ever wake up at like 3 a.m. to make a very early flight, but nevertheless, all of these things just seem to happen. And through it all, I found that I could either be upset, I could be frustrated, I could try to point a finger of blame at why is all of this happening, or I could simply remember these aspects, these principles, these foundational truths that we discuss every week, look within myself, and be willing to bring a smile. With that smile, I have found that I am more prepared to handle all of the things that are uncertain throughout our everyday experience. And this ties directly in direct alignment with this particular quote from Louise Hay: to love who you are, to truly love you and what you are, an infinite being that is brought to life by that which enables the sun to shine and the earth to spin. Love what you do. And that does not have to be something monumental. It does not have to be something that shakes the foundation of the earth itself. It can just simply love what you do in terms of how you interact with the people that you see on a daily basis. And be willing to laugh at yourself. To laugh at life, like the situation I just explained, as trivial as it might be, missing a flight and being delayed and delayed and delayed. By laughing at yourself, by laughing at life, there is truly nothing that can touch you. It seems then as if peace is always within reach. Joy can be a natural way of being if we make that choice. Otherwise, it's very easy to default to negativity, to default to frustration, to default to anger, to default at pointing a finger at another individual instead of looking within ourselves, tapping into that space of stillness and recognizing this piece of peace that is always within reach. So that's the first aspect. The second one then has to do with those interesting thoughts that pop into our mind. And this is something that I've had to learn to laugh about. Do you find it interesting that we knowing that we are spiritual beings, having this human experience, knowing that we are brought to life by the infinite, do you find it hilarious at times that we value the opinion of another person more than we value the thoughts that exist, or the value that flows through our being? Do you ever laugh at that or find that amusing? That we will actually begin to value the thoughts of another person more than we value the still small voice that exists within ourselves. And I ask this because there is another quote by Lao Tzu who said, as soon as you have made a thought, laugh at that thought. And that is really quite hilarious from my perspective, because so many of the thoughts that I anchor or grab onto do not actually serve me. They do not actually make me feel as if I am more empowered. They truthfully do not actually add to the overall well-being of the people who I have the privilege to share this time with on this earth. So do you think about your thinking, or do you allow your thoughts to dictate how you think about yourself? And even more importantly, have you recognized that there is a space that you can get to deep within where you start realizing that you are not those thoughts? Those thoughts are simply empowered based upon the energy, the essence that is dwelling within you. So the thoughts are that such as clouds going through the sky of the conscious mind. And you are that which is looking up at those clouds, those thoughts, and determining which one you will give your power to. So if we could pause periodically by way of recognizing the breath, by way of feeling our heartbeat, looking up at the thoughts that are flowing through our conscious mind, laughing at them because they have no power other than the power that we give them, then suddenly we can start recognizing that we are truly directing the course of our life day in and day out. And those thoughts that we attach to, whether consciously or unconsciously, act as a compass that helps us navigate or helps to co-create this reality that we are currently experiencing. Which also means in the snap of a finger, we could think something different and begin to create something new. So I would encourage you, when those thoughts of doubt or envy or frustration or jealousy or even hurt or fear begin to pop in, why not just simply smile at them, letting them have their space, but knowing that they do not have to determine the way that you feel about the inherent nature of who and what you are. And then the last aspect here, and I thought this was absolutely hilarious. And I don't know who said this, but it's a great quote. Never be afraid to laugh at yourself. After all, you could be missing out on the joke of the century. I thought that was extremely hilarious, just to think about how serious I take things in my life. And looking back in hindsight, how funny it is and has been that I'm actually that attached to a specific thing that happened last week or last month or last year or 10 years ago. I mean, take the seriousness out of it. As Marcus Aurelius said, there's a wonderful quote: remember this, very little is needed to make a happy life. And we don't have to complicate things by being so serious all the time. We can laugh at ourselves. We can laugh at our stumbles along this journey, while simultaneously recognizing the energy that enables us to even take a step along this path of life. And getting to that seriousness space, have you realized that's where we are? I mean, I don't know actually if that's where we are. I haven't, zeroed into the Milky Way and said, oh, there's Earth right there. But based upon this little photo here, that's where we are. So look at the grand scheme of things. We are but a piece of the infinite. But yet this piece that we are seems as if it is the infinite, because it is. We are brought to life by that. As I was looking at this particular picture, I started thinking, well, what makes everything shine with light, so to say, in the vast darkness, the infinite darkness of the universe? And it's important to note, darkness is not inherently bad by any stretch of the imagination. Darkness is simply the fertile soil that is required for life to blossom from it, which means there is creativity, there is life, even in the apparent absence of life. For if the infinite or God is all, then it is ever present. And I was thinking, what makes this galaxy shine? And what popped into my mind is what makes it shine is every planet, every mineral and element within that planet was willing to be the best that it could be. And notice I didn't say it was good or bad. It just simply living up to its nature. And by way in doing so, or in doing that, the light of the sun itself is able to reflect that light that is shining within those elements, those minerals, and the planets themselves. And as we talk about laughter and humor, maintaining this lightheartedness and smiling and moving with peace, have you ever recognized that you can enter into a room as stressful or as hectic as it might be, or as individuals might be, the things that they might be going through? Have you ever recognized, because you are willing to bring a smile to your face, you have the ability to transform that specific environment? So do not discount your ability to live up to the best that you can be. And as that light of the infinite shines upon us all, you will begin to reflect that light that is dwelling at the depths of you. And in doing so, you help other individuals also recognize what is dwelling within them. So the final thing I would like to share is something tangible then. I've talked about the importance of recognizing the real things that our brothers, our sisters, our fellow humans are going through on this planet, and to not act as if it is not real. But I've also mentioned that there is this piece of peace that we can always tap into, to smile, to laugh at ourselves, to be willing to smile in spite of the difficulties that we might be bumping up against. Because in doing so, we help shift the environment wherever we happen to be. So this is from Thich Nhat Hanh in his book, Peace with Every Step, I believe is the title. And this is something that I've been doing, and I would encourage all of us to do. This is something very practical and tangible. We can pause. When we breathe in, we could simply say, breathing in, I feel peace. And what's interesting is if you say that in the forefront of your mind, or feel it in the center of your being, you actually start creating this space of peace. And you could substitute that word peace for joy, for happiness, compassion, for love, for humor or happiness, whatever word you want to say there. But breathing in, I feel peace. Breathing out, I smile. This allows us to reconnect to one of those 25,000 breaths that we are taking throughout a given day, to slow down, to realize that at any given moment we can create this landscape of peace within, and simply bringing a smile to our face, knowing that as we do so, we are sharing that peace with everything in our surroundings, whether those individuals or people happen to be right by us or across this entire world. So breathing in, let us all feel peace. And as we breathe out, may we all smile. I hope that you can grasp or align with one or two of these ideas. As always, it's so great to be here with you and your community. We send all of this out into the infinite, knowing that that which we send out comes back to us multiplied abundantly. Thank you so much. And so it is. Let's conclude this time with a brief prayer. If you would like, you can close your eyes. If not, that's quite all right. It's going to be a brief one. Let us just take a deep breath in, feeling peace. And as we exhale, let us briefly smile, knowing that we are brought to life by the infinite, knowing that we are one with the infinite, knowing that everything that we do is empowered by the infinite. Let us just simply rest in gratitude, knowing that there are innumerable things for which we can be grateful for day in and day out. Let us be a reason that somebody is grateful for living today. Let us be one of those examples, those lights that are shining in this day, in this age, on this planet, in this moment. Embracing all of this, let us release it out. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much.
And so it is, for sure. Thank you, Jeffon, for your beautiful message. That 1.8 million breaths and 7.2 million heartbeats, that's a lot of living in a short period of time, isn't it?
It sure is.
Those numbers are amazing. I recently read a quote from Viktor Frankl that said something about laughter and joy, I think, was kind of what got him through his internment during the Holocaust. So if it can help in a dire situation such as that, how powerful it is in our own lives. And
Totally agree.
yeah, so
Thank you.
for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Will you be able to join us for Zoom
I will.
for a bit? Great. See you in a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I hope all of you will join us and chat with Jeffon a little bit in our Zoom at noon. The link is in the newsletter and on the website. So I hope that you can take a few minutes of your day, more of your day, to join us there for some good conversation. I'd like to start with our minister search update. If you've been coming to service and if you've been reading our newsletter, you know that we have an applicant for our senior minister position. So that means that our search committee is up and running full speed again. And we, the first step was to really look at the application and resume, letters of reference, listen to talks, those sort of things, and the evaluation of those materials. The committee decided that we would interview this applicant, and so that formal interview is coming up in a few days. It's short, it's formal, and then after that, then we decide what the next steps might be after that. So it's pretty exciting to have that kind of energy, that, proof that our covenant is working. And the evaluation really is based on what's behind the covenant, the whole process of creating the covenant and the qualities that you see in that document. So your reading and focus on that has really helped us. And we will continue to keep you posted on that process. So we have a couple of dates we want you to put on your calendars. We have a couple of in-person gatherings going, or coming up, I should say. The first one is Saturday, March 26th from 10 a.m. to 12, and we'll do that at Vernon Worthen Park. We don't know exactly where in the park we'll be. We often try to be in the gazebo in the front of the park. But depending on how busy it is, we may have to be under the trees or in the back under the other gazebo. So we'll try to have a flag or something, balloons or something for you to see. And then coming up in early April on the 9th, we are going to meet at Cottonwood Cove Park again, which is where we did our annual meeting last year, on Dixie Drive. And that will be from 12 to 3. The first part of it will be, first about hour will be our annual meeting, and then a couple hours for some snacks or lunch or something. We'll provide some sort of treats and some socialization. So put both of those dates on your calendars, and we hope to see you there. Our book club is starting up again on the 24th. Those are on Thursday nights from 6 to 7. Sue Fulmer and Anita Sheff are going to co-host it this time. And the book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, I think it's how you pronounce that name. And it should be magical and mystical and a great conversation. So you can email Sue at suegfulmer@gmail.com to get more information and to get the Zoom link to join us there. So we love it when you support us and support our mission and support our savings for our new minister whenever we hire one, and for eventually having a physical space again. We are diligently saving what little tithing is coming in to get us started in those things. So please continue to help us out, or start if you haven't started yet. PayPal is probably one of the easiest ways to support us. You can also send checks to our PO box. And if you use your camera to scan the little QR code, it will take you to our website where those links are provided. So thank you again for your ongoing or new support, whichever applies to you. And we're happy for your support of us, and we are in turn so delighted that we have ways that we can support you as well. Our community care circle exists. You can leave us a message on our phone or send us an email at our main email. We're working on having a special email just for the circle. In whatever kind of support, with something challenging in your life or something glorious, or just if you just want somebody to support and acknowledge what's going on for you. And of course, our beautiful, beautiful practitioners are always here and willing to do prayer sessions with you. So send an email to prayer@cslsggeorge.org. And our practitioners will pray for you and get back to you. So don't forget, we're here for you always. Again, Jeffon is going to join us in our Zoom conversation at noon. Go to our website, click on the Access Meetings link, and then you can just click on the Zoom link and it'll pop you right in. We hope, if you've never done it before, it's really pretty fun. And we always talk about the service a little bit, and sometimes a little bit else that's going on in our lives and in our world. So do join the conversation. During that Zoom meeting, we have started offering affirmative prayer sessions with the practitioner of the day, which today is Mary Klein. Zoom allows us to do breakout rooms, so we can put Mary and a person wanting prayer in a private little space and have a little 5-minute prayer. And we hope that you'll come, and you just put it in the chat box and we will take it from there. So we hope that that is a service that you would like to take up on. So coming up in the next couple Sundays, next week is Eugene Holden, one of our favorites. His topic is I'll Rest When I'm Dead. I think that means let's live today, live the fullest life we can. It's not as ominous, I don't think, as it sounds. And then March 27th, our very own Anita Sheff, practitioner, will speak to us on So Happy Together. And maybe that's a premonition of being physically together more in the near future. I hope that that is true. So let's pop everybody back in. Let's see. Bill, Alan, Jeffon, Mary, Star. And let's get me out of the front here and pop our closing affirmation up. So Mary, can you get us started?
I can. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life. Alan, you would be next.
Please muted.
I'll take it. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
Sorry.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it.
Just the way that it is.
In just the way that it is becoming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Life.
Thank you.
I hope that you guys all had a great time today. We were happy to have you with us, and we'll see you in the Zoom, and we'll see you in the weeks to come. Thank you again, Jeffon. I keep
Thank
wanting to call you
Yes, thanks
Chiffon. Are you?
Chiffon. Yeah.
We'll see you in the Zoom.
Thank you.
Thanks
Zoom,
for being
zoom.
here, everybody.
Bye, everyone.